Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks. We're talking November. We're on to November 2nd. Gonna have 3 player props for you guys to lock in, 2 plus money bangers, 1 first quarter king that we are backing. There were a couple plays I was debating between as well, so I'll quickly talk through my leans. But before I get into that, let's do a recap from yesterday, which ended up being a salvaged day overall. Our later 2 plays ended up coming through. Thank you to Jalen Duren, who that one looked dead, and Franz Wagner, who also looked dead. So got some bad luck and some good luck yesterday, so definitely can't complain about that. Jaden McDaniels didn't even come close. I think he only took 3 shots, did not score 5 points in the first quarter. Definitely didn't score 7. Sabonis ended with 13. That sucked. He didn't do anything in the first quarter or really in the first half, and the Bucks couldn't miss. Started collecting boards in the second half, but it was too late. So you're down a little bit less than half a unit yesterday. The unfortunate reality is we don't really have the ability to keep having these slightly down days. If you look on the entire year, we're down over 8 units. It's just been brutal. Lost my first 6 NBA plays, then had a pretty good stretch. Since then, it's been actually 4 straight days in the red. Some bad luck, some bad reads. Regardless, hasn't gone well. Really like the 3 plays that I have for today. Even the leans, I was really close to going with some leans as well, and I just kind of figured, why not? Why force it? Let's just go with the plays that I am confident in, which is the 3 that I have. Appreciate those of you for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Props Madness. Put a link to them in the description of the video. Going to walk you through how I use them. And the first play is actually in this first game. We're going with SGA, but we're taking him on the first quarter. We're going over 8.5 first quarter points, minus 112 odds at FanDuel. That's actually a really good price when you line shop that. The only other book that's close is Flip, that has it at 8.5 at minus 120, and whatever the heck Sportsbet is has it at minus 111. But every other book has it at 9.5, and the best offered price on that 9.5 is even money, which you can get at Hard Rock and Bet365. ESPN Bet has that at minus 130. DraftKings has them for basically even money at plus 104. So I think the value on this is really good. Now I will admit, SGA has not quite been the first quarter king this year than he was last year. Like this 8.5 number, you look at last year, he hit it in like 57% of the games. And if you look at the regular season specifically, which you can do on these advanced filters, just like just the regular season, 65% of the time, 64.5, he was going over 8.5. He averaged 10 in the first quarter. Now it started slow for him last year as well. You can kind of see that at the beginning. He missed it in his first 4, and he missed it in like, what was that, 8 of his first 9, something like that. His minutes were also spotty to begin the first quarter. Granted, one of them he only played 6 minutes. I believe he left one. This one he left hurt, played 6 minutes. But more often than not, you're going to see the 12 minutes in the first quarter for SGA. That is what they like him to get to. And this year, he's done that 3 times. Now, he's missed it a couple times. Like this game against the Rockets, only scored 3 points in the first quarter. This one only scored 6, but he took 6 shots. That's pretty good. The other ones, he's playing 7 minutes. So the risk here is the spotty minutes, but he has been able to cash it with a 7-minute first quarter, which we saw against the Pelicans. We also just saw him go over playing 12 minutes, taking 9 shots in the first quarter. That's what you like to see from SGA. Chet still out for this game. Jay Will still out for this game. They're getting some other guys back, but nobody that's going to really take the ball out of SGA's hands. So hopefully he doesn't play only 7 minutes. But what I really like about this play is the matchup. It is an absolute dream matchup for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You can just hover over the matchup and you see a ton of green. D-rank versus DPT. D-rank versus DSZ. Defensive rating. Paint points allowed. Everything is in the green. 3-point attempts allowed. Greed. The only thing that's bad is the pace that they play at, but the Thunder like to run. So the pace is going to be good on the Thunder side. And to explain what all this stuff means, DPT is just the play type he scores the majority of his points, which is the pick and roll ball handler. And you can see here, the Pelicans give up the 4th most points per game to the pick and roll ball handler. What do we know about Shai? He is fantastic running the pick and roll. Literally scores the 3rd most pick and roll points per game in the entire NBA. Luka, who's an animal, and Austin Reeves, who was an animal when Luka was off the floor, both scored more than him, but he's averaging like 9 shots out of the pick and roll. His pick and roll possessions is the 5th highest. I mean, it's just a ton of pick and roll that he runs. And yeah, this just in, SGA very good at running the pick and roll. But it goes more than that. Transition. I mentioned that they love to run. Another 15% of his points comes running in transition. 4th worst transition defense in the NBA. Now, they don't foul, so he won't be able to get those cheapy free throws. But They're below average in isolation, which SGA is also a very good isolation scorer. And SGA has turned himself into a decent pull-up three-pointer. Another 20% of his shots come via the pull-up three. Guess what? The Pelicans allow are tied for allowing the most pull-up three-point attempts and the most made pull-up three-point attempts. So all in all, it's just a really, really good matchup for SGA. Rocking him at the first quarter because who knows how this game is going to turn out, and I know he's going to play in the first quarter. Debated the threes as well. The three, it wouldn't be over 1.5. It would be 3, which you can get at a really juicy price, but I mean, he'd have to go 3 for 6 or 3 for 4, 3 for 5. The value wasn't quite there on the threes, but the points in the first quarter specifically, I really, really like at the -112 number. That is play number 1. Next up, we're heading to the 76ers game, and I'm going with my boy, VJ Edgecombe, not as a homer, but because the matchup is basically as good as you can ask for. I'm taking him 20-plus points. So the over-under is 18.5, as you can see. I bumped that up to 20. He's yet to score exactly 19 points this year. He's either gotten 26 or he's gotten under 18.5. He did come close against the Celtics with 17 points. Scored 14 in every single game, so there's a pretty good floor for him, averaging 20 points per game. Granted, 34 points in his opening night is going to help that average a lot. But I think the 20-point number for VJ is very, very good. There's a lot to like about this matchup for VJ Edgecombe. And number 1, no Joel Embiid. He is out for this game. He's only played 1 game without Embiid, scored 26 points in that game, took 17 shots, had a fantastic usage rate in this game of 20%. Above his, I guess that's actually not as good as I would have thought, but is slightly above his average. But what I like is you scroll down here to the play types. I mean, it's exactly what you look for. Spot up. The most points for him come via the spot up, 44%. He's actually a really good, scores a lot out of the spot up. Like if you look at spot up and you just look at total points scored, VJ Edgecombe scores the 4th most points out of the spot up in the entire NBA. He's very, very good spotting up, catch and shoot, attacking closeouts. Then transition. He scores another 27% of his points via transition. The Nets are literally the worst transition defense in the NBA. Now, this is going to help Maxey as well. But the reason why I settled on VJ over Maxey was this stat right here, pick and roll ball handler. The Nets are the type of defense where they just try aggressively to not let the guy who's running the pick and roll beat them. Now, they give up a ton of assists to point guard. So I do think that this could be an assist game for Maxey. I held off of assists because if you look at him, he just had 14 assists on 12 potential assists, which means that the Phillies scorekeeper at home was very, very generous with what they gave an assist for Maxey. Technically, this should never happen. Like an assist should always be considered a potential assist. But the difference is a scorekeeper gives out assists while a computer calculates potential assists. So you're going to see these types of situations where there's very good scorekeeping, very generous scorekeeping. So, and he's gone over in 4 straight. He's been really good on the potentials, except for this game where he had 19, but 8 of 11, 9 of 14 is a little bit too high for my blood. But anyways, Maxey assists means points for VJ Edgecombe. And then the last one, free throws. They foul at a top 10 rate. Gets another 2.5 points via the free throws. Players by position. So these are not quite point guards. Some of them are, but more so kind of combo guards like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Reed Shepard, Dylan Harper, Sam Merrill, Donovan Mitchell obviously is not a combo guard, nor is Lonzo Ball. But 5 of 7 guards have gone over against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, 28% of his points come in the restricted area, though the second worst restricted area defense in the NBA. 41% comes via the above the break. And while they look like, 19th is not terrible. They look like a below average, or I should say a slightly above average matchup. It actually is even better than that because a lot of above the break 3-point attempts come off of pull-up 3-pointers. But if we go the same stat we're looking at here, pull-ups, the Nets actually allow the fewest pull-up 3-point attempts in the entire NBA, and they're tied for allowing the 4th or 5th fewest made pull-up 3-point attempts. So that's another negative for Tyrese Maxey points, another positive for VJ. He doesn't really pull up. If you go and you look at the shooting dashboard for the Phillies and you look at pull-ups and you filter for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm walking you through this to kind of show you my process here. He takes like 1 pull-up 3-point attempt per game. Now I want to show this, not totals, but per game. He takes like 1 per game, right? 1.2. Maxey takes 6. So the lack of pull-up 3-point attempts is going to hurt Maxey, and it's not going to hurt VJ. So this is a really, really good matchup, as you can tell. I know fading recent results hasn't really helped me so far this year, but he cashed it in 2 of his first 3. He's missed it in 2 straight. Didn't take a ton of shots against the Celtics. So he did shoot pretty efficiently there. I'm just expecting this volume to be higher with no Joel Embiid and a really, really bad Nets defense. Let the young guy cook. So VJ Edgecombe, 20 plus points. And then our third and final pick of the video is just right down the line, going with another rookie, Kon Knueppel, 15 plus points, plus 155 odds at Bet365. Really, really good price on the 15 plus. Like there's pretty much agreement across the boards for over 12.5. Bet365 has the over 12.5 at minus 120, but they have the 15 plus at plus 155, and you see BetMGM has that at plus 115. FanDuel had that at like plus 138, which is close, but still a really good number. Now, he's only done that twice this year. Once he came close with 14 points, then he cashed it in 2 straight, then he missed it in 2 straight. So if you don't like fading recent results, you're not going to like this one either. But shot 1 of 8 and 1 of 4 from 3. But the 2 games prior to that, 5 of 11 and 5 of 10. That's the ebbs and flows of an NBA season. Even for a rookie, he's going to have hot games and he's going to have cold games. Now, he had a good game against the Sixers, 1 point shy of this 15 plus, went 1 of 2 from the line. I also did debate the threes, which he's cashed in 4 of 6 games, cashed it in his first 4, missed it in 2 straight. But the points, I felt the value was a little bit better. Like there's mostly agreement across the odds on the 3-pointers as well, minus 102 to minus 115 with a couple stinky odds higher. But the points was where there was the biggest value. And you're going to be surprised to hear this. Another fantastic matchup with the Utah Jazz for guys like Kon Knueppel. Kon scores 30% of his points via the spot up. Guess what? The Jazz allow literally the most points per game via spot up shooters in the entire NBA. Now they're good at the other 2, but that's half of his points coming via the spot up. But it's not only that. He takes 43% of his shots from the above the break 3-pointer. These are all catch and shoot. If I show you catch and defenses and how they guard catch and shoot, guess what? The Jazz allow literally the most catch and shoot 3-point attempts in the NBA, tied for the most made as well. So they're a very, very good defense that you want to target catch and shoot. As are, and I meant to mention this earlier with VJ, as are the Brooklyn Nets. They are tied for allowing the most catch and shoot 3-point attempts. That's much better for VJ Edgecombe than it is Tyrese Maxey. Forgot to mention that. But also very good for the Utah Jazz. You want to look at who on the Charlotte Hornets takes the most catch and shoot. Well, also, I'll show you VJ first just to confirm that. Guess what? VJ, number 1, takes the most. You want to go to the Charlotte Hornets, who takes the most catch and shoot 3-point attempts. Guess what? Kon Knueppel. He takes 6.5 per game, which is really good. And that's actually pretty good league-wide. It's like, top 10 in terms of catch and shoot 3-point attempts. He's shooting 38%, so it's not like he's shooting an outlier. Like you see 62% from Isaiah Joe, 40% from Larry Markkinen. I mean, he's a stud. 48% from Sam Hauser. 38%, that's pretty reasonable. And a rookie, you assume that's going to get better. But wait, there's more. You go to what I want to show you is the corner 3-point attempts. I want to show you, so by shot zone, we're going to corner threes. Guess what? Jazz allow the second most corner 3-point attempts. They allow the 4th most made. Guess who's another 34% of their points come via the corner 3? Kon Knueppel, 17% from the right, 17% from the left. You look at corner 3-point attempts. So I'm kind of showing you how I look at everything. But you go by zone, you go by corner 3. You want to look at the Charlotte Hornets. And guess what? Kon Knueppel takes the most corner 3-point attempts. Still only shooting 38. He takes the second most. But he's making a good amount. And that's kind of, you're going to see guys make a lot of corner 3-point attempts. So Miles Bridges takes the most. He takes the second most, but he makes the most because he's shooting at a high clip. And that's something that he can do. So while there's room for improvement on the catch and shoot, not necessarily for the corner 3. So you add all that up together, it's a very, very good matchup against the Utah Jazz for Kon Knueppel. So we're going 15 plus points, plus 155 at Bet365. That's everything for today. So 3 plays that we're rocking with. If we sweep the board, we're going to be up 3.7 units. Won't bring us in the green, but would feel very, very good if that happened. In terms of leans, so there's a couple places I wanted to go for this Grizzlies-Raptors game. I was debating Jalen Wells' points. So Ja Morant is out for this game. He leads the team like doubles the next closest player in terms of touches. So where's that stuff going to go? Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Wells, and Cedric Howard. But I like Jalen Wells because of the matchup. Spot ups and free throws. That's where 80% of his points come from. The Grizzly defense is bad at both of those things. They're good guarding the pick and roll. They're kind of similar to the Nets where they just force the ball out of the guy's hands. But 83% of his points is a top 7 matchup 4 of 5 players have hit their point prop over against the Raptors, and it's all similar guys. It's catch and shoot guys playing off ball. He's only hit it in 1 game, and it's not like he's shooting that inefficiently. I mean, I guess some games he's shooting pretty badly, but like 4 of 8, all of them 3-point attempts. So without Ja, maybe he shoots more, but I didn't quite think the value was there. And then Cedric Howard, I looked at him as well. I actually looked at him on the boards. You can get 6+ for a pretty good number. The Raptors are a pretty good matchup for guard rebound props. As you can see, 5 of 5 have gone over. Only hit it in 2 of 6 games, but you look at his chances, 16 last game, 12, 11, 9. So that one, you're hoping for a little bit more than 9. And then 2 of 5 and 3 of 9 his first 2 games as a rookie, but he's playing more now, like 22 minutes, up to 24, 25, 28, 26. So he's probably going to play around 25 minutes. 25 minutes for 6 boards was a little bit too scary for my blood. And then the last lean I will mention here is I really wanted to go right back to Brunson assists. I took 8+ last game. He did not have 8 assists. He had 7. But you look at these potential assists, 17. And you look at this game, 19. You look at this game, 17. Like, he's having these crazy good potential assist games, not converting to actual assists, but I just didn't have the stones to go right back to it. Maybe if I was up 8 units, I would have, and not down 8 units, but taking something with a 0% hit rate when you're down 8 units is kind of like, well, what do you expect? So not doing that, just rocking with these 3 plays. But if any of those leans spoke to you, let me know. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.